Look at your skin for a second. Seriously, whatever shade it is, light, dark, or somewhere in between, that color is carrying a story older than kingdoms, older than civilizations, and older than almost everything humans have ever built. A story written by sunlight. Now here's something most people never think about. If you could travel back far enough in time and meet the earliest modern humans, you would notice something surprising. No matter where your family comes from today, Europe, Asia, America, Australia, or anywhere else, your distant ancestors all came from the same place, and they all shared one thing in common: dark skin. Every single one of them. So, what happened? How did some human populations develop much lighter skin over time? Was it random? Was it luck? Or was there an invisible force shaping humanity for tens of thousands of years? The answer involves deadly radiation, missing vitamins, ancient migrations, and one giant star sitting 93 million miles away that accidentally changed the appearance of our species forever. And the strangest part? It was all about survival. To understand this story, we need to go back hundreds of thousands of years to Africa, the birthplace of modern humans. Ancient humans spent most of their lives outdoors with no sunscreen, no protective clothing, and no shelter from the powerful African sun. Every day, they were exposed to ultraviolet radiation, or UV light, which can damage DNA and increase harmful mutations. But evolution found a solution: melanin, the pigment responsible for skin color. Melanin acts like a natural shield, protecting the body from dangerous UV radiation. That's why dark skin became such an important advantage. It not only protected DNA, but also helped preserve folate, a nutrient essential for healthy pregnancies and the development of unborn babies. Over thousands of generations, dark skin became the natural standard for humanity because it dramatically improved survival. But then humans began leaving Africa. Around 60,000 to 100,000 years ago, small groups spread into the Middle East, Asia, and Europe. As they moved farther from the equator, the environment changed. Sunlight became weaker, winters became longer, and suddenly the same dark skin that had been so useful started creating a new challenge. The problem was vitamin D. Unlike most vitamins, vitamin D is produced when sunlight interacts with your skin. Without enough of it, bones weaken, immune systems struggle, and overall health declines. In northern regions, sunlight was already limited, and darker skin made it harder to produce enough vitamin D. As random genetic mutations appeared, individuals with slightly lighter skin could absorb more UV radiation and produce more vitamin D. That gave them a survival advantage. Over thousands of years, these small advantages spread through populations, gradually leading to lighter skin in regions with less sunlight. Not because lighter skin was better, but because it worked better in that environment. Evolution wasn't choosing favorites, it was simply solving a problem. But the story gets even more interesting. For a long time, scientists believed Europeans became lighter almost immediately after arriving in Europe. Then, ancient DNA revealed a surprise. Many early Europeans still had relatively dark skin thousands of years later. One famous example is Cheddar Man, who lived in Britain around 10,000 years ago and likely had dark skin and blue eyes. This suggests that the very pale skin associated with many modern Europeans is actually much more recent than most people think. So, what accelerated the change? Farming. Around 10,000 years ago, humans began relying more on agriculture and less on hunting. Their diets contained less vitamin D, making sunlight even more important. As a result, the evolutionary pressure for lighter skin increased, and the process sped up. What's even more fascinating is that lighter skin evolved through different genetic pathways in different populations. Europeans and East Asians both developed lighter skin, but often through different genetic changes. Nature found multiple solutions to the same problem. Scientists call this convergent evolution. Today, we live in a completely different world. We have sunscreen, vitamin supplements, modern medicine, and technology that protects us from many environmental pressures our ancestors faced. Yet the evidence of that ancient struggle remains visible every time we look in the mirror. Every skin tone on Earth represents a chapter in the same human story, a story of migration, adaptation, and survival. The traits we often focus on, such as skin color, hair color, and eye color, are only a tiny part of what makes us human. Beneath those differences lies a shared ancestry connecting every person on Earth. So the next time you look at your skin, remember this. You're looking at a message from your ancestors, a biological record of where they lived and what challenges they overcame. Because every skin tone on Earth is ultimately an answer to the same ancient question. How do you survive under the sun? And for tens of thousands of years, humanity kept finding new answers. The story is still being written, and every one of us is part of it.